in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation, and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you on the current topics. But today our topic is not correct. It is a historic topic. And we would like to discuss this today. And the topic is, does Indus Valley heritage belong to Hindus? The Indus Valley civilization, IVC, was a Bronze Age civilization in the northwestern region of South Asia, lasting from 3300 BC to 1300 BCE, and in its mature form from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. Together with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, it was one of three early civilizations of the Near East and South Asia, and of the three, the most widespread, its sites spanning an area stretching from northeast Afghanistan through much of Pakistan and into western and northwestern India. It flourished in the basins of the Indus River, which flows through the length of Pakistan and along its system of perennial, mostly monsoon-fed rivers that once coursed in the vicinity of the seasonal Ghagar Hakra River in northwest India and eastern Pakistan. The civilization's cities were noted for their urban planning, baked brick houses, elaborate drainage systems, water supply systems, clusters of large non-residential buildings, and new techniques in handicraft, carnelian products, seal carving, and metallurgy, copper, bronze, lead, and tin. The large cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa very likely grew to containing between 30,000 and 60,000 individuals, and the civilization itself, during its florescence, many have contained between 1 and 5 million individuals. The Indus civilization is also known as the Harappan civilization after its type site, Harappa, the first of its sites to be excavated early in the 20th century in what was then the Punjab province of British India and now is Pakistan. The discovery of Harappa and soon afterwards Mohenjo-daro was the culmination of work beginning in 1861 with the founding of the Archaeological Survey of India during the British Raj. There were, however, earlier and later cultures often called early Harappan and late Harappans in the same area. For this reason, the Harappan civilization is sometimes called the mature Harappan to distinguish it from these other cultures. By 2002, over 1,000 mature Harappan cities and settlements had been reported, of which just under 100 had been excavated. However, there are only 5 major urban sites such as Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Ganriwala, in Kolistan, and Rakhigadi. The early Harappan cultures were preceded by local Neolithic agricultural villages for which the river plains were populated. The Harappan language is not directly attested and its affiliation is uncertain since the Indus script is still undeciphered. A relationship with the Dravidian or Elmo-Dravidian language family is favored by a section of scholars. Today, we have a very elite panel with us. We have one historian and another one, although by profession he is a cancer specialist, but his interest is in the Indus Valley and he has done lots of research. So we would like to try to gain knowledge, try to understand whether the Indus Valley heritage belongs to Hindus or not. I would like to invite my first guest. She is Professor Dr. Ranjana Mishra. Dr. Mishra is the former professor and head of the Department of History at Shri M.D. Shah Mahila College of Arts and Commerce, Mumbai. She is the visiting faculty, Lucknow University and MET University, Lucknow. She did her BA Honours in History from Lady Shri Ram College, University of Delhi, New Delhi in 1983. She did her MA in History from Department of History from Bhagalpur University with a specialization in modern history in 1988. She did PhD in History from University of Patna in 1991. Her thesis was Role of Women in Promoting Social Changes in Bihar from 1917 to 1957. Her more than 100 papers have published in reputed journals. She authored 4 books. She did 2 researches which were UGC sponsored. First, major research on local history of Mumbai. Secondly, minor research on ancient metallic utensils and its economic viability. She was invited by various countries like USA, Japan, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, Nepal, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan for paper presentation. She presented more than 200 papers at national and international conferences. In 2001, she got Best Teacher Award in Mumbai from Anand Foundation. In 2014, she got SNDT Women's University Mumbai Best Teacher Award. In 2019, she got Best Teacher Award from Jan Seva Samitik Sanchalit Shri M.D. Shah Mahila College Award. She won Bharat Shiksha Award in 2017. Welcome, Dr. Mishra, on our show. Dr. Mishra, as you are aware, we are discussing today a very, very sensitive topic because researchers, scholars, historians have done lots of research on this particular subject about the Indus Valley and about the civilization. But because you are a historian yourself, we would like to know from you that whether this Indus Valley heritage belongs to Hindus. Professor Dr. Ranjana Mishra, please.
Very warm welcome to all of you. I'm immensely grateful to Dr. Goyal for giving me opportunity to speak today on this very contemporary topic, a very topical topic. So I am once again grateful and to him, because through this I can, so many viewers can listen to me and I can share my ideas with august viewers. The title of my paper today is Organic Relationship Between Ancient Culture of Indus Valley and the Hinduism of Today. Indus Valley or Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization are 3 names of the same civilization. Now, it is an established fact that this civilization is not limited to Indus Valley region only. So it is more appropriate to call it a Harappan civilization, as Harappa was the first site which brought this civilization to light. Though excavated in 1921, Harappa had attracted the attention of Charles Merson as early as 1826 and then inspected by Alexander Cunningham in 1853 and 1857, but serious efforts were made by Sir John Marshall, who along with Dayaram Sahni and R.D. Banerjee got Harappa and Mohenjo-daro excavated respectively. The Harappan civilization lasted for 2000 years and has its parts in Sindh, Baluchistan, Afghanistan, West Punjab, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Maharashtra. So far, as earlier he said also, 1,000 sites have been discovered, but just few months back, an archaeological excavation at Kezhadi on the periphery of Madurai have yielded artifacts dating back to 580 before Common Era, some with graffiti marks similar to those that are believed to have evolved from the Harappan civilization. It is established then a new chapter would be added to history. This civilization flourished as per carbon-14 dating between 33,000 before Common Era to 1300 before Common Era in three phases. That is early Harappan, mature phase, and the late Harappan phase. This civilization was very unique in its character, and that's why all of us should know about it, and it came much before the Aryans. What were the outstanding features of the Indus Valley? The most important, one of the most important feature was each city was divided into, as you can see on my screen, into two parts: the raised area called citadel and the down area as lower town. Most of these cities had fortified citadels, and its number also varied from different, like we are seeing it at different sites. The residential houses were built on high mounds in order to be protected from rain. Like modern time, like now what we are using, between two houses, spaces were left. So they were aware of all those technical aspect of it. All houses had egg-shaped brick-laid well, as you can see it on my screen. The another outstanding feature was its road. The main street followed a grid pattern running from north to south and from east to west, what we do not find even today in 21st century in most of the places. The width of the road ranged from 13.5 to 33 feet, and those by lanes from 9 to 12 feet. The streets crossed the main road at right angle and dividing the city into square and rectangular blocks. So they used to avoid all accidents. The residence did not open on the main road. So the roads between the two houses worked as a suction pump. As you can see, both the houses, like the road is covered, like on both the sides, the walls are there. And that's why they worked as a, and that used to help in proper cleaning also. The next important feature is the drainage system. House drains were mostly of bricks, but in some places, gypsum and lime could be seen. The drains were covered and emptied all wastewater into the street drains. In all drains, there were soap pits and manholes, like which are still missing today. That's why I'm saying that Indus Valley is very unique in its character. The next important feature is the bricks, and the bricks were of definite shape and proportions. 3 types of bricks have been found, and they were rectangular. Like now we find only 2 types, that is rectangular and square. But in those days, 3 types, and that is L-shaped, in order to avoid seepage. So the rectangular bricks were in 4:1 ratio, which is a standardized ratio. The another outstanding was the commercial, like they used fire-baked bricks, and that was very different from Mesopotamia, the contemporary civilization, where in Nile, in Huanggo, where they had been using dried sun-baked bricks. But only in India, we had been using, that is, fire-baked bricks. The Harappans had commercial contacts with their neighbors. A Persian seal had been found in Lothal, and it is all based on facts. We have seals from those countries. Mesopotamia seal in Kalibanga is one of the another sites of Indus, and Harappan seals have been found in the Central Asian towns like Kish, Susa, and Nupur. The world's first artificial dockyard is Lothal, as you can see on my screen, and that corroborates the fact that how we had commercial contact with all these countries, and we were very good at trade and commerce. Harappan people knew the art of writing. As you can see on the screen, the script but it has not yet been fully deciphered. Partially it has been, but not fully. So far, like Harappan people were chalcolithic, but iron usage was not known to them, and they knew the art of plowing. That is very important, and that plow has been found, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen. The terracotta plow has been found at Kalibanga. The next important, like they were very well, like they knew the art of textile, and as now, like you can see what is that bearded man is wearing, and the similar type of textile, like till today people are weaving in Gujarat and in other area. The figurines of clay and terracotta sculptures of stone and bronze, seals and beads represent skills of craftsmen. A bearded man and the bronze statue of a dancing girl are the masterpiece of the Harappan art. So they were well versed in all these arts and architecture. Harappan people were well conversant with weights and measures. The weights were made of flint stone and were cuneiform in shape. Scale pan, as you can see on the west side, on my left side of the screen, that they were made of elephant tusk and had been found from Lothal and Mohenjo-daro. Graveyard also has been found, and the monumental architecture of Harappan civilization are unique, and they are like 4 types, and they have been found in almost all the sites. And on this basis, because we cannot decipher the script, we come to the conclusion that all these sites had the features of Indus Valley, and they were great bath, then granary, and then we have found a building which they connected with collegiate, and then the water reservoir. They knew the art of harvesting rainwater. And even in Dholavira, we have found that rock cut water reservoir. So it in itself is a very innovative thing. The Harappan, like a religious belief, what my topic today is, I just wanted to give an outline and important features, but it is like, how can we, like, are there any evidences that we can connect it with Hinduism? And the affluent Harappan society, I'm not talking only Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, or any other religion, but let us see, and it should be based on facts. As a historian, I cannot say like the assumptions are there. So whatever evidences, on that basis, I'm trying to connect it. The affluent Harappan society was deeply religious in nature. In the absence of the ruins of any temple, we have not found any temple there. No altar or statue of gods. One has to bank on the figurines and seals of the religious significance to have an idea regarding their religious belief. Generally, there are 2 aspects of religion. Like, one is the conceptual or philosophical, and the second one is practical or ritualistic. The conceptual part of religion is generally found in metaphysical text, whereas the ritualistic part is found in the material method. Since the script of the Harappan seals have not yet been deciphered by the scholars, it is difficult to know the metaphysical aspect of the religion. But the abundance of material remains from Harappan sites help us to form ideas about the practical aspect of their religious faith. Figurines similar to those of the Harappan people have been found in many countries between Persia and Aegean Sea, as its extent was up till Baluchistan. Most of the information about religious belief of the Harappan comes indirectly from the seal impression, terracotta and metal figurines and symmetries, etc. It has been inferred that the Harappan people had many features of later Hinduism. The first point where we can connect it with Hinduism is the worship of Mother Goddess that you can see on my screen. And they have been have been found after excavation. A large number of excavated terracotta figurines are those of a semi-nude figures, which is identified with some female energy or Shakti or Mother Goddess. Various postures have been unearthed from the ruins. Most of these images are showing wearing saris, necklace, and waistband. One interesting seal that you can see on the on the left part of my screen is from Harappa, shows one female figure standing upside down with outstretched legs, and a tree is sprouting from her womb. Scholars opine that she symbolizes the goddess of fertility or plant goddess, because till today we worship Dharti, and because we get so many plants and other things from them. And that has been corroborated with the fact we have found a seal. Besides earthen images of there are images of pregnant women, women carrying children. As you can see, they have been found from Indus Valley sites, and carrying children, etc., are ample proof of worship of the Mother Goddess, because she was believed to be the source of creation and energy. And till today, we give lots of importance to mothers and anything related to fertility. Another aspect where we can have connection with that Dr. Puneet Gupta just now, actually before in a conversation, said he does not agree about Pashupati, but we have found a seal, and another, and that seal is of male god. The three-faced male god, as you can see on the both sides of the screen, they have three faces. So Trinity in a yogic posture. The rhino and buffalo are on the right, and the elephant and the tiger on the left. People relate it with Shiva. Why they relate it with Shiva? Because there is another name also of Lord Shiva, that is Pashupati. And in this seal, the person who is in meditating form is surrounded by animals. That means he is the owner of the animal. So Pashu and Pati. So on that basis, Harappan seals also prove the point that they were worshippers of bull, because you will find in several seals and figurines, bulls are there. So we can come to the conclusion, because till today we worship a god who is called Pashupati. So there is a vestige of connection between Hinduism and of Indus Valley. Another factor that helps us to come to the conclusion that there was little bit of connection between the two, that civilization of Indus Valley and of today Hinduism, is the worship of animism. Animal worship was another typical feature of our Harappan religious belief. Worship of the Naga deity or serpent worship was equally in vogue. We have found that on the seal. And apart from that, but among all animals, bull worship was more prominent. And you can see so many animals on the seals, and they have been found. So I am not just propounding it on my own, but they are based on the material facts that have been found from excavational sites. Then apart from that, like worship of water, trees and plants, today we worship all these things. And even in Indus Valley, like 6,000 years back, they had been worshipping that, because various pictures of trees on the seals In some cases, horned animals and human beings standing under a tree, a deity standing between two branches of a peepal tree are clear evidences of tree worship. They worship trees in their natural state or their dwelling spirits. Until today, we worship people or banyan tree during the time of Bhat Savitri Puja, or in other rituals also. Lots of importance are given to the plants. The portrayal of crocodile on some seals may symbolize river god. A seal has been found and that represents the river god. The Harappans had great regard for water. They regarded water to be very sacred and purifying. The discovery of a large number of wells, tanks, and public bath in the ruins, which I showed it at the beginning, one of the features of Indus Valley, found on the banks of Indus River and other rivers, hint upon the idea of self-purification of the body, which was a prelude to any worship, and that even today we take a holy dip in Ganges or in Sangam or in other Kaveri rivers and other areas. In all probabilities, like the water of Ganges, the water of the Indus River received equal reverence. Another area where we can connect it with Hinduism is faith in magic, charms, and sacrifices. One of the seals that you can see on the right side of the screen, the discovery of an amulet suggests that the Indus Valley people had belief in magic and charms. Some seals had figures of men and animals in act of sacrificing. And today also you have seen in the northeast and in the northern, because I belong to the Tarai of Nepal, there we have lots of animal sacrifice is very popular and very common. Practice of fire cult also, because we perform Havan during the time of Durga Puja and others, and that we have found that suggests the ritual sacrifice. And you can see on the left side of the screen, the Havan sort of a, Havan Kund has been shown there, and that shows little bit of connection between the two practices. Another thing where we can establish the connection with Hinduism is worship of stones or other objects that they look like, because we can't read that, but they look very much like linga or yoni. Another peculiarity of Harappan religious belief was worship of stones in the form of linga and yoni as a source of potency. Numerous symbols of phallus and female sex organs made of stones have been found in terracotta piece from Kalibanga, and you can see in picture number B, and that has been taken from the site. Shows pictures of linga and yoni as one seal, but there is no definite knowledge whether linga and yoni were worshipped separately, because as a historian I just can't establish a linkage directly. I can't aver it, because until unless facts, but on the basis of this, we can have some connection. And how they worship, we don't know actually, because it is all based on archaeological evidences and literary evidences we do not have of that period. So whether they worshipped it in the form of Shakti or Shiva, we don't know. But these lings, like till today, we worship the ling of Shiva and Parvati together. Another important thing, that where we establish the relationship between the two religions, Hinduism and the practices of Indus Valley, is the swastik. Swastik is common. Actually, it is revered in Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism. So swastik have been found in a large number in excavation sites of Indus Valley, and the most probably used it for good luck. swastik seals of the Harappan civilization. In the middle, whatever swastik you can see, they are in British Museum till today. So the sacred symbols have been depicted on seals, paintings, and graffiti. So we have these evidences until today. For any rituals, we have this swastik. We perform it at home or in temple or in other places. So it gives us immense evidence that we had little bit of connection with that. Then belief in life after death, another point that where we can establish our relationship with, connected with Hinduism. The people of Indus or Harappan disposed their dead either by burial or by cremation. They buried their dead together with household pottery, ornaments, and other articles of daily use. Primitive animism, that is worship of spirits and belief in other world, is shown by the fact that with the dead bodies, we find all those things that you can see on the left side of the screen, various potteries and others. We have also found an earthen pots, and it is like ashes are there that you can see in Harappa. In Lothal, we have found that. That means they also used to practice of preserving ashes of the dead people, that even today we do. And what they did it later on, we don't know, but today we immerse it in the water. So that was there. Then another thing where we can connect it with Hinduism is fire altar. We have found it, as in the beginning also I had shown, and these are, we have found in Lothal, Kalibanga, and in Ropar and Banwali. Banwali is in Haryana. So these are in almost all the sites that have been excavated, we have found this. That means they must have been performing, they had these fire altars, and that gives us the connection. The another important aspect is the great bath. The existence of the public bath suggests that people believed in the ritual bathing. Modern Hindu religious faith and practices bear resemblance to religious practice in Indus Valley civilization. So even today, we have this type of ritual bathing during the time of Chhat Puja, during the time of Nariyal Purnima, where people do it. That means this practice is in continuity. Then comes the practice of yoga. As you can see, the terracotta figurine has been found, and below that I have shown the person performing, and on the upper side it is terracotta figurines. So the Harappan religion emphasized much on the practice of yoga. A large number of terracotta figurines have been found, which shows individuals in various yogic posture or asana. So it is believed that the Harappan practiced yoga for both physical exercise and religious rites. That's an assumption, but material evidences are given us lots of evidences. Another aspect where we can connect it with Hinduism is demonophobia, or faith in magic or charm, and uses of amulets. Like till today, in village or in town, we use amulets, and where on one side is the figure of a god or a goddesses are there, on the other side is mantra. So like most primitive inhabitants of other civilization, the Harappan people harbored faith in magic and charms. Their blind belief in the existence of a spirit prompted them to have faith in various practices of black magic to get rid of their evil influence. As amulets and charmers found in large number, they suggest their belief in superstition, demons, and ghosts, and that till today Hinduism, they practice that. In some seals, 6 red motifs have been unearthed, which may signify the sun, and that we have unearthed it from Mohenjo-daro. A large number of square and rectangular copper seals, as you can see down below my screen, copper seals have been found in excavation and which have been accepted as talisman. These amulets have animal figures on one side and some inscriptions on the other, as we can't decipher the inscription. This feature lends support to above conjecture, my conjecture, that it had similarities with Hinduism. The square seals have a small perforated boss at the back, while the rectangular ones have holes on the back of the seal itself. And therefore, like I'm quoting one of the historians, and his name is R.C. Majumdar, and he says that there is an organic relationship between the ancient culture of Indus Valley and Hinduism of today. In a real sense, the religion of Indus Valley people was a linear progenitor of Hinduism. Thank you very much for the patient hearing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ranjana Mishra, for giving the details along with your presentation. And as Professor Dr. Ranjana Mishra has mentioned and explained that how the civilization, Indus Valley civilization, which is started, we found in the excavation, which is started somewhere from 1920-21, we found those things which are showing the connection with the Hinduism. And she has explained in details how those materials which were found are related to the Hinduism. And she mentioned and she has shown that the seals which were found, they were showing the animals, they were showing the goddesses, which are clearly a symbol of that Hindus, their civilization belongs to Hinduism. And for this, she has given the entire presentation. Thank you very much, Dr. Ranjana Mishra. I'm sure our viewers have seen the entire presentation and they are benefited with this.